Hello cuties, welcome to a fun little video. Please ignore what everything is going on behind me. There's a lot of rearranging happening. It's an in progress thing, okay? Ignore that, that's fine. I wanted to go through some things today with y'all. I really want to appreciate everybody who did the end of year questionnaire for me. We had about 282 people filled it out, so you gave me a nice sample size of some interesting data, just some things I've been wondering, you know, get a little bit more accurate results than like what YouTube gives me. Yeah, the YouTube, like their summaries of stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I like doing this style to get a good data pool of, like, especially with those who are like active, because if you saw the survey, then you're like an active member and stuff. So I wanted to go over the results of the survey with y'all today, and we're gonna go over what my reading year in 2025 was, as well as finally update you guys on how I've been doing on my very own reading challenge, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, by popular demand, because a lot of you in the survey put that you wanted that. So ask and you shall receive, I guess. So yeah, let's just dive into the survey first. Just a little quick see. We're gonna make myself a little bit too tall, little baby here. So yeah, like I said, 282 people responded to it, and I asked how long people had been subscribed to my channel. And most of you found me this year because of 2.0. Not surprising, 76.1% found me this year because of HERKID. 17.5% found me last year because of HERKID. And 3.9% found me not because of HERKID, they just happened to find me. 1.1% found it last year, not because of HERKID. And 1.4% of you had been subbed before HERKID was even a thing. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all stick around. It was just an interesting way to kind of see the growth of my channel in a different way. And knowing that, yes, HERKID is definitely the reason most people have found me, and I'm happy about that, and I hope that you stick around for the rest of the weird content that I put on this channel. Asking about my live streams, I did have a wonkier schedule. Things have changed a lot in my life, so I haven't been as consistent with my live streams, but you guys gave me some. A lot of people, not really a live stream person, so rarely or never watch them, and that's really cool. Live streams, not for everybody. 22.1% popped in here and there, which is great. They never align with my schedule, so I only ever watch the replays, which is totally cool. 12.5% said that. And 22.8% will join if you catch it. And 2.5% never miss a single one, or at least try very hard not to miss a single one. And I appreciate you guys. And for my regular videos, which schedule's changing for that, just FYI, it's probably no longer going to be Friday releases. Obviously, if you're watching this right now, either you got the week ahead Ko-fi or you're watching it on Wednesday, because I'm now thinking Wednesdays are going to be my new days to do things. I don't know, maybe that'll work out a little bit better. Who knows? So, a lot of people are watching here and there, depending on content, and that's cool, 62%. 9% only watch if it relates to HERKID, which I understand. 24% watch most of the videos, but miss a few sometimes, and that's okay. 3.9% watch every video I put out, which is amazing. Wonderful, thank you. 0.4% was one person, watch more videos and shorts and live streams, and that's okay. Watch reviews if I've already read the book, and that's cool. Respectfully, I found a few to fulfill my HERKID minimums. That is a-okay. That is a-okay. How much of my short form content do you watch? I post onto TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram Reels. I've been very backtracked on that, and I apologize. Life got busy. Watch if they pop up on my FYP, which is cool, 53.8%. Not really into the shorts, also cool. I kind of hate making them, but I know algorithm-wise, they're kind of necessary now, which sucks. Watch every short. Thank you very much. 5.4%. And we had a bunch of other mini opinions. There's like so many opinions here. Feels unfair to say I'm not into them when the actual answer is just that I'm not a video person in general. And that's okay. Sometimes. Generally watch the YouTube ones because I'm subscribed, but I don't use TikTok. Also okay. Watch sometimes. If it's a book I'm interested in. Watch for books I'm interested in. A lot of that general sentiment, which is a-okay. Very fun. Which of the platforms do you follow me on? Most of you are here on YouTube, and a lot of you are in the Discord. Those seem to be the top 2 most popular places, followed by Instagram, TikTok, my Ko-fi followers, thank you, and Ko-fi subscribers, thank you. We have some people on Threads, which my Threads is just linked with Instagram. It just does whatever I do there. I don't really do anything individually. 5 of you are Twitch followers, thank you. If you don't know, I have Twitch, and I dual stream. I'll be doing a little bit more with Twitch this coming year, just FYI. If anybody cares about that and wants to do some game stuff, because I have a game that I play now, and I want you to play it with me. There is a newsletter. The newsletter's going away. I hate doing it, and it doesn't do me much, so don't worry if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, it's going away. It's probably just going to be migrated into Ko-fi, so if you want regular news, Ko-fi is where to go. I do have Blue Sky. I don't remember the last time I opened that app. Don't remember, but I do have one. And 27, you are currently outside of my window right now. It's a little windy and chilly out there, so make sure you have a nice jacket and some mittens on. All right. Which content I've made this year have you most enjoyed? Just don't check if you're indifferent or anything. That's cool. Predominantly HERKID. And I know that HERKID is like the draw. But there's only so much HERKID content a person can make, you know? A lot of you love the TBR game rounds, which is nice. Litmus, thank you guys for watching Litmus, which is only once a year, though. You know, it's 25 videos, but it's only once a year. The mini reviews, I was actually surprised how many of you actually watch the mini reviews, because I don't tend to think that they do as well as my other stuff. But I appreciate that incredibly. The vlogs, the reading vlogs, 25 and 2025. So a lot of you did enjoy those, which I appreciate. And the other reading vlogs as well. Tag videos, not as much. Literary, not as much. Don't really care so much about the not reading content, the thirsty vlogs. Paul content, parody videos, Will of TBR. Indie reviews, new releases, some of Litmus. Enjoyed most videos. Fun with friends. That's all good. And which content I've made have you enjoyed the least? And I'm trying not to be hurt by you not enjoying my parodies. What do you mean you don't enjoy my parodies? Same with my literary cooking. I want to film them better. I just have a terrible space for them. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more organized with the literary cooking. It's kind of easy to see the opposites in here. But you did have some nice little others. So I appreciate you guys saying there's something I did enjoy. Do less of the stuff that's less satisfying to you. None of them. I don't like to watch detailed content about books I haven't read yet, so I go as unspoiled as possible, and that is totally fair. It wasn't really a least fave, haven't disliked anything when I asked for money, which I hate asking for money. Please don't think that I love doing that. I hate doing it. But if I ever want to make this a full career, you kind of have to. There was a video where I spoiled something about Emily Wilde without warning. I don't remember what I did, and I apologize for doing that. Sometimes I'm just talking, I don't even realize it could be considered a spoiler. I will do better to not spoil things. I apologize. Some blanks, none, and don't really have content I don't like, which is very nice of you. Appreciate it. For live stream person preferences, so we still have Saturdays as the most prevalent day. I just wanted to make sure that seems to be the best day to do them. I do intend to keep doing live streams on Saturdays as long as they align. I have a lot more events and stuff that happen on Saturdays. A lot of conventions I do happen on Saturdays. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more consistency back in the schedule here. Along with days, we had time zones. It does seem like the current time zone that I do, or the current time frame I do them, which is usually like late morning to the evening, seem to be the best times for everybody. We've got a lot of random ones, and I promise on the live streams I'm going to do so much better. I say that now. I will try to do so much better to be consistent with the break times and the sprint times. I have ADHD. Okay. All right. Would you be interested in a long form podcast of just chit chat in the bookish world or other relevant topics? Maybe. A lot of maybes on that. We are probably going to do some test runs of a podcast. We'll see how it goes. It may not work out. It may work out. Some of you did like podcasts, and other people are like, God, no, I hate podcasts. I'm not a podcast person myself. There's a few that I will like. I like the video versions of them. I don't just listen because I'm always listening to audiobooks. So when I say I'm going to do a podcast, it will be both available in just audio form and will have video form. So, FYI. And then most of you did say you wanted book releases, bookish drama, author interviews, general life stuff, all kinds of things. So I appreciate all that. There's a little bit of questions here. We're not going to go into all of these answers, just kind of going in more of the stats. And this is just a general, like, hey, some of you didn't know that I'm a writer and I write books and stuff, you know, and it would be cool if you read them. I just want to see who read them and not who knew. So many of you want to read HERKID, which is Humane Society for Creatures and Cryptids. It's my most popular book. Does some of you doesn't seem like your thing? That's okay. It's a contemporary fantasy. That's not for everyone, and that's okay. 11.4% of you had no idea I wrote a book. And it's going to get crazier and crazier because I wrote a lot more than just one book. A couple of you bought it from my Ko-fi. I appreciate you so much for doing that. Or bought it from Amazon, also okay. Ebook from my Ko-fi or ebook from Amazon, which is okay. And reading it Kindle Unlimited, it is available on Kindle Unlimited as well, if you already have that. And I have the Ashboard Archive series. How many of you read that? No, but I want to. It's about half of you. It doesn't seem like my thing. That's okay. Urban fantasy. Not for everybody either. Not of you didn't know I wrote a series. It was my debut series. Hope you like it. Read it some other way. From a library friend lent it, which is okay. And some people bought the ebook from my Ko-fi. Appreciate it. Have you read my short stories from A Year in Craft and Chaos? This was my most recent release, having recently bound them all up into one big copy. A lot of you did not know that I did that. It was part of a whole project I did in 2022, and finally released the anthology earlier this year. It doesn't seem like my thing. That's okay. And well, no, but I want to. 40.6%. Some people did buy the ebook and the physical copies from my Ko-fi or read it on Kindle Unlimited. Thank you very much. I did want to know, like, hey, which of the short stories did you like the most if you did read them? Most of you did enjoy my nonfiction, Unfortunately I Exist, which is my experience as an asexual woman in a hypersexualized world. So if you need that for your prompt for HERKID for an asexual, it's a short story. It's not a short story, but it's a short book. And then others loved Illuminated, which I know pretty much unanimously has been, of the fiction of the anthology, has been highly demanded for the expansion of it. And don't worry, I'll work on it. But others like Kozue Hacks the Universe, Sweet Pea and Sniffly, which is one of my favorites. Your Package Has Arrived, which was one of the hardest ones to write for me. Make Life Meaningful for All Else, also incredibly hard for me to write. And Horde of Princesses, which is the gayest book of the whole series, as I call it. All right, and we talked about Do Your Shitstorm, which was the inaugural year this year. Many of you want it twice a year, and I can happily tell you that we will be doing it twice a year based on these results. We are still solidifying which months we're going to be doing it in, but it is likely going to be April, August. Still in the works of pre-planning it, but FYI for those who are excited about Do Your Shitstorm, we will have it twice a year. So if you can't do it one time or you can do it one time, the next time you still get to participate either way. Or you can, adapt it to yourself and do it whenever you want to. There you go. A lot of you suggested some great things for HERKID. Don't worry. And then a lot of you told me really fun things at the end here. You guys don't have to read all these. We don't have to go through all that. But I appreciate everybody for filling out the survey. It did give me a lot of good ideas. It gave me a lot of good insight. So very much appreciate everybody for doing that. Let's look at my reading spreadsheet. I read in total 206 books. That was 73,021 pages and 1,901.5 hours. Listen, this is actually the year that, since I've been doing stats and stuff, I have read the least, but have listened the most. I will tell you that. I acquired 198 books, which is the least amount I've ever acquired in a year. I did good. This is not based on how much I actually spent. I should probably clarify that. This is based on the value of the books that I read this year. So the value of read 206 books could have cost me $2,291.33. That's not the actuality. That's based on the value of the books read. It took me on average almost 4 days per book, which is, I can definitely see how I slowed down. My average rating was 3.71 stars. My average pages was 354. That's pretty simple. Average hours, 11.67. The shortest book I read this year was Love Burns, which is a short contemporary romance that I thought was terrible, honestly. It was only like 40 pages. awful. The longest book that I read, that I had page-wise, was Wind and Truth, and audio-wise it was still Wind and Truth, because that baby's over 1,000 pages long. But the shortest audiobook I read was Strack's Bad Day by Stephanie Y. Yang, and I highly recommend it. It's very, very fun. All right. For my genre breakdown, my biggest genre, I think, is fantasy romance, but it's pretty even. Epic high fantasy is pretty close to, I think epic high fantasy is the, yes. Yep. So it's fantasy romance, epic high fantasy, and then contemporary romance, I think, are the top genres this year. I had quite a smattering of different genres, so very interesting. Most books I read were novels. I read 7 graphic novels. I read 2 anthologies, 11 novellas, 3 short stories, and 1 that was verse and poems. For our audience, I've actually been reading more adult. I used to be such a YA girly, and now that has fully changed, and I'm much more into the adult. I still read my YA, with 30% being YA, 1% being new adult, and 8 books, 3.9% being middle grade. For my publisher, and this is the main big publisher, so not the imprints, who I'm reading the most, are we tied? No, Penguin wins. Barely. Penguin won by 3. For 49 books, 23.8% were from Penguin, 22.3% were Macmillan, followed by HarperCollins at 15.5%. Then we have Hachette with 12.1, independent presses being 11.2, self-published being 11.7, so that was actually more, and Simon & Schuster only 2.4%. Ba-boom. For our author status, most of them were new to me. 57.8% were authors that were new. 34.6% were repeat authors, and 7.6% were debut authors. For our publication years, I predominantly was reading my new releases. 74 new releases this year. I was really keeping on top of it. I was trying to get my arcs down. You'll see how unsuccessful that was. 45 of them were 2024 releases, and 21 were 2023, 2021, 2022. So, you know, we go all around the smattering. I think my oldest book is 1994. Is that it? No. I saw 1971 in there. 1971. I don't know. I think that maybe 1971 is the oldest book I read this year. For my reading means, most of them were from NetGalley. Like I said, I've really focused on the arcs this year. 38.3% were NetGalley. 22.3% were from Libby, my library app. 3.4% were gifted to me. We had Second and Charles. We did have some from Amazon, Everand, directly from the author, Fairy Loots, Kickstarters, Pangos, all kinds of fun ones. But the main ones were NetGalley and Libby. For my series, 41.7% were standalones. I started 48, 23.3%. In progress, 10.7%. I finished 20. Okay, according to this, that actually might be... Well, no, that's probably accurate, I would say. That's probably more accurate than anything. 18 DNF series, and 5.8 were up to publication. Cool. Looking at my map, it's very easy to see that the U.S. had 61. We had, a good smattering. We're all kind of around here. I kind of wish it was a little bit more. I think I was a little bit more diverse last year. I don't know. It's not feeling as colorful as previous years. In the U.S. itself, though, freaking New York and California just dominating that map. I like how I have a full, should I do a road trip through the states that I didn't do? I have a very clear path of states. It's kind of fun that way. For when I was reading my books, May was the top month. 24 in May. We had 20 in February, followed by 19 in December and April. I think then 17 in July, 16 in October and January. 17 in March. I skipped that one. In November as well as 16. August 14. I read the least in June, which makes sense considering what happened to me in June. Okay, for our cover colors, our most common cover color was blue, followed by a multicolor, followed by black, followed by red, followed by yellow, and green. Wait, was yellow more? Oh, green was there, and then yellow, which is actually surprising. I would honestly think purple would have been a lot more prevalent, but it's not. Oh, sorry, I didn't guess you guys couldn't see everybody. But that's my colors. And then we have our authors. So, Okay, this has been kind of a secret project that I'm working on, but it's going to reveal what I'm doing. The author I've read the most this year is Ruby Dixon. And there's a reason for it, okay? So ignore that. Our other top authors have been Amelie Howard and Brandon Sanderson. And then followed by Stephanie Meyer for the 17 vampire books you people keep making me read, and I'm not done yet. I still have to read Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, and then I'm done with it. But we did do Jenna Levine, we had Ursula K. Le Guin, Sam Prentice Jones, Patricia C. Reedy, Lainey Taylor, Martha Wells, Jeffrey Eugenides, Josiah Bancroft, Hannah Kaner, Mike Horland, Toby Ogundaran, Charlie Jane Anders, Abby Jimenez, and Tea Guanzong. All right, that's the main stats. If we want to look at the month-to-months, here you can kind of see the breakdown on everybody, where I was. So my best reading month average for my rating, I think, was a ton. Oh no, our best month was September. September had the highest rating, 4.08. And let's see, our sources. It was always audiobook won every single month. Our formats was always going to be novels. For what I was doing with my series, I read the most standalones. January, February, I started a lot. I did pretty even standalone and started. Standalone finished and in progress in, was that April? April had a pretty good continuing of stuff. A lot of standalones in May, a lot of in progress in June, standalones in July, standalones in August, standalones in September. A lot going on here, okay? For our audiences, I was mostly adult, except in November I read a lot more young adult and children's for some reason I have highlighted. I think I didn't mean to highlight it. Reset you. Oh, I guess you're supposed to be something like that. There you go. So young adult in November, everything else is adult. For when I'm reading the most of my publications, it's pretty much 2025, except last month in December, we did have a little tie with 2015 to 2019 and 2024. It's not that you guys can see it because I moved my thing over. I'm so sorry. There it is. For our publishers, our top publishers overall was Penguin. I had a tie for Penguin and Independent for December. We had Macmillan lead October. Self-published lead, what is that, August? That's August. August, I read a lot more self-pubs in August, and as well as May. A lot of self-published in May. But yeah, that's my little monthly side-to-side look over. Okay, fun things to look at. For the 25 of 2025, I did not complete it. I was 2 books short. So I did, let me get you a little smaller here. I'm very upset about myself with this. I did read All These Lovely Rows, all finished. And I didn't finish The Splendor and The Weight of Our Sky. I will still be reading them. They're still a priority read right now. But I didn't finish them, which means I will be accepting a punishment. You guys all voted. I'll be doing just one punishment that has not been decided on yet. We have to do a poll. But I will do that in the Discord. Cool. Or by the time this video comes out, it's probably already done. Cool. So, we've already done this. Let's look at the character tracker. So this is something I've been doing this year, just kind of seeing where I end up. But the most interesting stat to me is names. And I like seeing what names are coming up that are the most frequent. And here are your names, okay? So no one's allowed to name their characters this anymore. No more Coras. Cora's not allowed. No more Evangelines. No more James. No more Pitas. No more Lores. We're done with Lore. We're done with Nick. We're done with August. We're done with David. We're done with Eliza. We are done with Charlies. No more Faiths. No more Allisons. No more Cassies. And no more Tesses. Those are the 2 names that I know are always so prevalent in books for some reason. No more. You're done. No more Bens and no more Bellas. Okay? And I did not copy these. Like, if they're in the same series, they were not put in twice. Just FYI. So only one of those Bellas is from Twilight. There's another Bella out there. So, no more. If you are a writer and your character is named one of these, change it right now. Not allowed. Narration. I also like to see what narrators I am reading. And our most popular, again, this is because of Ruby Dixon, is Mason Lloyd and Holly Jackson, who narrate all of those books. But otherwise, we had Emily Wu Zeller, Michael Crouch, and Natalie Naudus were our other top three. In second place, I guess, narrators, followed by Donald Chang, Kevin R. Free, and those are actually, that's it. That's it for the threes. Most of the books I read or listened to were 126 were solo, just one narrator. We had 24 dual, 8 multi, and 4 that were like a full cast production, and 1 that was an actual duet style. Okay, for my 2025 releases, let's just look over here. There were 451 total releases that I had any kind of care about. 9 of them I did pre-order. 72 of them I read. 254 I received in some way. Most of these are going to be NetGalley arcs. I was not gifted any 20... Well, no, that's not true. I think I just forgot to mark that they were gifted. I was declined 26 that I tracked, and I still have 31 requests out. This part I definitely stopped tracking at one point, so ignore that. Most of them were audiobook because I'm exclusively only doing audio arcs from NetGalley from now on because I just hate reading ebooks. So 53.2% were audio, 35.6 were ebook, 9.4 I got hardcovers of them, and 5 were paperback. Beautiful. All right. Actually, I do want to show you the ARC tracker. So here is my ARC tracker. We have the total ARCs I received this year, or at least that I have, are 286. I don't think this is actually all received this year. This is just how many I have. I have read 83 of them, so 29.2% have been read. That is not my actual NetGalley ratio. My NetGalley ratio is 37. Okay, ignore that. My total unread is 204, and 195 of them are past due. Don't judge me. No, you can judge me. It's okay. My average rating is 3.82 based on where I read them. Look at all that. Look at all that. There's so many. I started 2025 with 475 open series. Not that it was like I was reading that many, but I have that many on my shelves that I could start or was in progress of. Total series now, because I have finished them, is now 440. So I went down. I went down, people. That's good. I started 60, though. I finished 21. I have 34 that are currently up to publication, and 110 that I'm in the middle of. It's fine. I did DNF 43 series, and I have 232 that I have not started, which gives me a 22.27% completion rate. But I have so many. There's so many theories in here. Let's look. I am participating in R Fantasy. If any of you care about R Fantasy, R/Fantasy, Reddit/Fantasy. Where I'm at with this, I still need to read an 80s publication. I still need to read a previous R/Fantasy book club book. And I need one more science fiction fantasy short story. Just one more. Because we've got All Systems Red, Artificial Conditions, Strax Bad Day, and Down Among the Sticks and Bones. So I should be able to finish that. For hard mode, because I like to do their hard mode as well. I had planned, I want to do Wild Seed for an author of color with an 80s publication. Entirely epistolary format, I wanted to read this. Still haven't done it yet. A science fiction fantasy anthology. I want to read Devout for it. I don't have a book necessarily picked out for an immigrant or refugee main character, because I don't know the full parameters. And then I need to do a generic title with more than one on this lovely list. So I'm close to finishing it. Our fantasy is not done yet. It finishes in March. So I have some time to try to actually complete it. We'll see. With Buzzwordathon, my whole take on Buzzwordathon is I try to complete it as many times as possible throughout the year. I did both of them at least once. So with the titles and then with the covers. Titles was harder for me because I don't think a lot of the titles that oh my god, I forgot her name. But the YouTuber who started this, oh my god, I feel so bad. I know her name, and it's escaping me. I did not complete it a second time because like truth and lies, memory words, they're just like not in the books that I tend to pick up. Because she is much more of a like thriller reader, I find. But cover edition, I did it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 complete times. I did. I did fail the Somber Honey Challenge by 1. Because the one book I was supposed to read, it was the first book on my TBR alphabetically, which is the book called Accomplished. That's alphabetically by the title. I just didn't read it. I don't have an audiobook. That's probably why, because I didn't have an audio. But I did everything else. Mars, I did everything else except that. For Adventures in Aldea, again, you're supposed to be able to like choose your thing. I decided to try to do every single prompt on it, and I almost succeeded. I missed a book with light in the title and a ship on the cover. I was so close. So close. Okay. What do we actually care about here? HERKID. Okay, I know. This is what you actually want. So I have completed 8 prompts in HERKID. I completed the subgenres of choice, the last 10 years, the disability rep challenge, the even bigger rainbow, spooky creatures, furry, feathered, and scaly friends, completing any readathon, and a BIPOC challenge. I am close with a lot of others, so let's take a look-see. Before we do that, I want to look at our points calculator. I have not redeemed anything yet, but I have 1,065 points. So I could do a few things here if I need to at the very end. We'll see. By the hundreds, I have 2 more to do, my 600 and 700. I've read Barbarian Mine for a 100-page one, Shiloh for 200, Viridian Gate Online for 300, The Guardians of Dreamdark for 400, and New Moon for 500. And I fear that 600 and 700 will be Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. I fear that's what's going to happen in the queue. Oh, sorry, Lucy. Here you go. I have not done my 24-hour readathon yet. I need to plan it. I need to have an actual weekend I can do this. We'll see. My subgenres of choice is finished. The genre I chose was romance. I didn't choose it. You guys, we kind of picked it out of a hat. Horror romance was Haunting of William Thorne. A Forgery of Fate for fantasy romance. Tusk Love for romantasy. These I distinguish for very specific reasons. Historical, I did The Austen Affair. Paranormal, Life and Death. And sci-fi, I did Ice Planet Barbarians. For my series, I've really slacked on these. I've done a standalone. I just threw it in there. And I've done 2 books of Earthsea. I have not touched the others. These are what we chose. If you didn't know, when HERKID first came out, I did a live stream where we decided things for me to do. And this is what was pre-selected, which is why I've added little check marks to it. Okay. Award season, I'm very close. I have 2 books left. I need to read at least 1 winner. And something else. I did just DNF a book that could have been another entrant, but I'm actually reading another semi-finalist right now. So I could use that and then just read a winner and we're done. For my TBR game challenge, it's turning out to be so hard. I've done 17 of 30 of them. I have them pre-picked out. I just haven't read the ones that I haven't done yet. For the last 10 years, we have our 2015 is Barbarian Lover, Viridian Gate Online for 2016, Down Among the Sticks and Bones for 2017, Artificial Condition for 2018, The Magnolia Sword for 2019, Dungeon Crawler Carl for 2020, 2021 is The Devil Makes 3, A Wilderness of Stars for 2022, Cursed Cocktails for 2023, Immortal Dark for 2024, Bat Eater and Other Names of Corazang for 2025, and Hollow for 2026. For the adaptations, I am very close to finishing this one. I literally just need TV show. I did Hungerstone for a retelling of Carmilla, a musical. Twilight has a musical. It's called Dusk, a bite-sized love story, and it's very funny. But I had to read Twilight. So anything that has the actual picture is what I did. For graphic novel, I did Wait Till Helen Comes. For a play, I did Rise Red River. TV show is what I need to do and will likely end up being Heated Rivalry for reasons. For web series, I did The Attic, which is a Little Women web series that I didn't even know about. So that was a fun surprise. And I thought it was fairly well done. For animation, I did The Wild Robot. And for a movie, it's New Moon. For the disability challenge, we did Dementia, for A Mother's Guide to the Apocalypse, where we had several different main POVs and the dad has dementia. I did The Autistic Guide to Self-Discovery, which is a nonfiction book about autism. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. The only disability actually mentioned for her is depression, so I did include that one. There is a lot of speculation as to what others she has, but only depression is confirmed in the text. Just FYI. I did Breathing Count Back from 10 with hip dysplasia, and then A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. Our main character, Ben, has severe anxiety. There we go. For my heritage months, I have not focused on this at all. These are just what's kind of fell in place. So I definitely need to focus more on this year. So disability, we have Exostar. AAPI heritage, we did Spirits Abroad by Zen Cho, which is an anthology. Very good. And for queer pride, we have Reclamation by, I forget the name, Kristen Zimmer. Yeah. All right. Translation challenge. I'm up to 3. For Spanish, I have Tender as the Flesh. Japanese, we have Parasite Eve. And I'm going to mess up saying this. I'm going to try my best. Anishinaabe for Rise Red River, which is actually a trilingual play. It also has Canadian French in it, this was commissioned to me to read. And I am very grateful for the person doing that because this was excellent. So I have 2 more to do. For Around the World, also have not been focused on it at all. I was just like, things will happen. I was focused on other things. North America, I chose Rainbow Valley because it's in Canada. Europe, I did The Witch Would Not, which is in the UK. And The Suffering, Asia, goes across Japan. We'll find the rest. For the even bigger rainbow, we have The Mortal Queen for red. Recommended reading for orange, Dungeon Crawler Carl for yellow. Green for Catabasis. A Land So Wide for teal. Steelheart for light blue, Barbarian Alien for blue, Forever Song for purple, My Vampire +1 for pink, The Nightshade God for black, The Gifted Society for white, The Book of Kells for gold, because y'all voted on stream and said it was okay, and for the 7+ colors, This Princess Kills Monsters. Do-do! My quote. So if you don't know, my quote is from the 1995 Pride and Prejudice, which is, "My dear Mr. Bennet, nothing you say shall ever vex me again." I'm sorry to hear it. I've done 4 books so far, which is My Roommate is a Vampire. We've done Mr. Magic, Right Beside You, and Letters to the Lost. Need to focus on that. Spooky Creatures was finished. We have The Good Vampire's Guide to Blood and Boyfriends for Vampire. Deerstalker for Shifter. It's a demon deer shifter. For Witches, we are Magic User. We did Arcana, which is a graphic novel. For Fae Folk, I did Tale of the Seasons Weaver. For Spirit, we did Wait Till Helen Comes, which has a ghost. For Merfolk, we did Out of the Blue, which has a merman. Actually, a merperson, because they're non-binary. For zombies, we did the undead, the Nightshade God. There's a whole army of undead in this. And for other creature, we did Night and the Moth for Gargoyle. Yay. For Become the Avatar, I'm trying to do all of them. So I'm 1 away on the covers, and then 2 away on the titles. So I did A Wizard of Earthsea, Fate Forged in Fire. We've done Rainbow Valley. This was our Pact, and The Guardians of Dreamdark for Air. My readathon, I did in fact complete. I won't go through every single one because there were 38 that I did for the readathon, but I selected Realmathon, so I had a ton of prompts that were done. That was what I focused on first because it was the one I had the most prompts for. So we've done that. For the M&Os, we did Pride and Puppies for house pets, which is dogs, Bernese Mountain Dog and a Golden Retriever. For exotic pets, we did Brandon Sanderson's Isles of the Emperor Dog, which has magical parrots. For farm animals, we had The Brightness Between Us because they have yaks and sheep and stuff on this planet. For wild animals, I did Guardians of the Ga'Hoole, which is owls. And zoo animals, Babylonia, which our main character has a jaguar. For the queer alphabet, we have I have 2 more to do. Arthur and Teddy are coming out for gay. Fable at the End of the World for lesbian. Sorcery and Small Magics for bisexual and pansexual. Gentleman's Gentleman for transgender. Cattywampus for intersex. I haven't done my asexual yet, which is funny. As an asexual person. You'd think I would have done that first, but I didn't. For polyamory, I did Chaos King. For non-binary or agender, I did Out of the Blue. And I still need to do my gender fluid or two-spirit, which I have planned, but yeah. For I Miss HERKID 1, we randomly chose this on that live stream, and mine was 5 books from across the world. So we have Deerstalker, which is in Germany, and The Suffering, which was in Japan. I got 3 more to do. Shouldn't be too hard. For the BIPOC challenge, I did finish. We did The Nightblood Prince by Molly X. Chang, who is Chinese. Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Booley, who is indigenous. One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This by Omar El Ahmad? Is that what it is? I'm so sorry. The text is very small and I can't remember off the top of my head. But they are Egyptian. For Ruin Whelms, we did May Corland, who is Korean. Case and Calendar, whose case for Chaos King is Black. The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Claw, who is Malaysian. Embrace the Serpent by Sunya Mara, who is South Asian. Breathe and Count Back from 10 by... I'm gonna forget already. What is it? Natalia Sylvester, who is Peruvian. The Forever Song by Julie Kagawa, who is Japanese. And Immoral Dark by Tirges Girma, who is Ethiopian. Ta-da! So I did that one. For new releases, where we're pretty much on track, I did A Fate Forged in Fire for May, The Listeners for June, The Enchanted Greenhouse for July, A Mother's Guide to the Apocalypse in August, Sisters in the Wind for September, Hazelthorn for October, Strax Bad Day for November, Reclamation for December, and Hollow for January. I still need to do my February, March, and April releases. For Challenge Yourself, this was picked out of a box while I was moving. I have also adjusted these for the books that I unhauled and replaced them with other books. I have done 3. 3 of 34. I will need to really prioritize this. But I read Combat Codes, The Gifted Society, and The Last Luminian. That's all I've got. For my nonfiction challenge, I have now done 3. So again, what is it? Oh, Akkad. Omar El Akkad. For One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This. The Autistic's Guide to Self-Discovery by Sol Smith. And The Book of Kells. The official guide to the Book of Kells for art history. I have 2 more for that. I haven't done a single one of these. We chose these again on that live stream. So the mini review one I have to do is going to be Dark Rise. I then have to read the Dragon Codex. And also Player's Viewpoint? I forget the translation, but it's that one. And I'm only going to do volume 1 because it was like really, really long as a web novel, but it is, I found there are volumes published, so I'm doing volume 1. And that's it. Okay. But that's where I'm at for HERKID. Well, thanks for hanging out with me for this little video of just going through stats and things. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry it's a little chaotic, and I'm sorry for all the chaos here. We're still getting 2026 rolling. It's still in progress here. So how are you guys doing on HERKID? How are you doing? How did your 2025 go? If you've also done like a review video of what you've done for the year, your reading stats and stuff, tag me, or at least like send it to me so I can watch it, because I love watching people's reviews of their year, their overviews of how they've been doing. So yeah, just send it my way and I'll check it out. Cool. All right. A lot coming for you guys in 2026. There's so much planned. A lot of testing the waters kind of things happening. So stay tuned for that. I look forward to your input, whether you like it or not. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go now, and I'll see you next time, cuties. Bye. I'm gonna yawn. It's really late. I've had a full day today. Excuse me. We did Tender as a Splat. This is a Splesh. What?